cost function. So the cost function is a relationship between output and costs. It's a relationship between output and costs. And it is an incorporation of prices, of inputs into the production function. So the cost function is actually derived from the production function. It is derived from the production function. So it's an incorporation of prices of inputs into the production function.
What?
Incorporation of prices of inputs into the production function. And the cost function is derived from production function. So these two depends on the time horizon, time period. So we talk of short run and long run. So this cost of prices, the prices of inputs at a given time. So it's a relationship between output and costs. So basically, you have your cost function, whether it is for soya, as we did, is equal to, because it's just a function, it's an expression. It's just a relationship kind of equation. You have your quantity of soya and your prices. Your inputs, not quantity, your inputs and prices. What are your inputs? And how much do they cost? The price. So that gives you a cost function. So you have so C is the total production cost, and then you have inside there INS is the quantity of inputs employed by the company, and P is the price of those relevant inputs. So the cost equation says that cost of production depends on prices of inputs and quantities of inputs. So it's the prices of inputs and quantities of inputs that you have employed. Since we have already studied the cost, the production function, we are now in a better position to start deriving the cost function, because the cost function is actually in itself driven from or derived from the production function. And we can also understand the technical relationship between the production costs versus the technology. So the various ways of combining your inputs into output dependent on the available technology at a given time will give you an indication of what your cost structure will look like. So the cost analysis that you can do will help you with allocation of resources amongst various alternatives. The cost theory or the cost function will help you to make decisions relating to prices and output. Because now you know how much it costs you to produce any particular product. It will also help you to determine your output costs. And in business, as we said, that your supply is heavily determined by your cost of production, and the prices that you are willing to accept for any of your products are heavily dependent on your cost of production. And therefore, the cost function is a key partner in your business, together with knowing the production techniques that you can choose from. So when you evaluate your costs, it also helps you, for example, whether you want to go into a new product or even improve on the product that you are selling. It all depends on how much it will cost you to produce that improved product or introducing a new product into the market to remain relevant with the competition that is in the market. So whether producing a new product is a wise decision or not will also depend on your understanding of your cost functions for that new product. So you do have to evaluate the costs associated with new products and possibility of any revenue from it. It also helps you to make decisions about new investment or capital investment into new machines, for example. So you are comparing the rate of return from such new investments with the opportunity cost of the funds used, for example. What is important is also that short-run costs will only determine the price and the output, or the price of your output. On the other hand, long-term analysis is going to use for planning or to scale up your plant size or your production will depend on the long-run costs. So the cost function that we have here is short run. The long run, the cost function might actually look different. It may have had been affected by changes in technology, for example. Sometimes even just the availability of certain inputs. So even though it's talking about price and the inputs, here the inputs have been lumped into one, but you know that those inputs are many. But it's just expressing that it's inputs times prices. But those can also change. As the production function changes, your cost function will also directly, because the cost function is derived from the production function in your business. Do you have any questions so far? Sorry? You are tired?